Good morning. Um, my name is Gary Robinson, and I'm starting this podcast because I'm very concerned about the information that people are getting or not getting from the main news sources. Um, I've been very disappointed with CNN, particularly, and the other news stations that are afraid to really question the motives of the U.S. in international affairs. So, right now, what I'm looking at is the U.S. has um, been allowing Israel to slaughter Palestinian people, and it's gotten to the point where the whole world is beginning to hate the Jews, not being anti-Semitic because Palestinian people are Semitic. Semitic isn't a race; it's a language. So, for Zionists to say that somebody's anti-Semitic, or that anytime you criticize Israel for the genocides they are perpetrating against the Palestinian people, to say that you're anti-Semitic. No, people are anti-Zionist. They're concerned about the devastation they've brought onto the Palestinian people. The conservative estimates uh, have been around 40,000 people. However, other um, institutions had looked at the amount of debris that people cannot be pulled from because of the collapse of these multi-level apartment buildings, is that the count is more near 200,000, which is just horrendous. That in modern time, they could allow this type of genocide to happen, and only because the persons, or I should say the country that's committing it, is supposed to be our allies. We're turning our faces to such a horrendous failure of mankind to recognize the humanity of man. That being said, the person who is behind this, who changed his name to um, Netanyahu, it used to be Malakovich. It didn't sound, Malakovich was obviously um, a European name, so they wanted to um, make it sound more Jewish. So he changed to so he changed to Netanyahu, and that's true of a lot of heads of Israeli state. Um, so let me say this: since 1995, Netanyahu has been trying to stage an overthrow of all Arab or Arab-leaning states to prevent them from influencing the atrocities they've been perpetrating on the Gaza. For instance, we've gotten into war with Iraq, we've gotten into war with Syria, Lebanon, Libya, and a few more. The only state left that was the last of the seven um, states that opposed what Israel was doing is Iran. And now he has Netanyahu has conned the American president and people into fighting their last war. However, the problem is that they had no idea that Iran has as many missiles as they have, and they have sort of put Israel in a position where they have to sue for peace because they recognize that they can't fight Iran without the help of the United States, and help means of more missiles to supply their to replenish their stockpile. And so this is a challenge for Israel. So they have to look for peace. As far as what's happening with the as far as what's happening in Israel with the current peace treaty, I wouldn't I wouldn't believe Israel on anything they do, because they have had peace talks that were scheduled, and Israel didn't want those peace talks to be fruitful. So they bombed Iran. And then the American administration, said that, or I should say Trump specifically said that he would figure out how to respond in 2 weeks to the alleged nuclear threat from Iran. And then he bombs what are supposed to be the bunkers where Iran is developing uranium grade material to create bombs. And the IAEA, who had been inspecting, told them that that was not the case. And Tulsi Gabbard also said that the advice she's got from the CIA, the FBI, the HS, the Homeland Security, and all the other agencies confirmed what the IAEA said, was that they don't have nuclear grade uranium. They're only using it for domestic use and not for bombs. And now that their generals, Iran's generals, had been killed by the Iranians who got the information from the IAEA inspectors to tell them who their lead scientists were. Now we are really in trouble, because if I were Iran, I would not subject myself to any more inspections by the IAEA because they have compromised in providing Israel with information that's negatively actionable on their part. So Pakistan and I believe North Korea has agreed to provide Iran with nuclear bombs. You don't always have to create the bombs yourself. If you got enough money, you can buy some bombs. You simply stick them on a warhead and game over. So you don't even really have to stick it in a warhead. You can just put it in a regular airplane and fly it to wherever the hell you want. So unfortunately, we're in a bad situation, and it's created by Trump, who wants to start a fire and put it out and claim to be Smokey the Bear. So what he's doing is now wanting to get a Nobel Peace Prize, because Obama got one, and willing to put the world at risk just to satisfy his perverted view of himself. So I just wanted to go over this with you, and we will talk later at another time, because I don't want to over saturate you with too much information, and we will discuss in detail later.